Hi there guys, so for my very first cook I decided to make myself some hickory chicken. It didn't quite go to plan, but I'll take you through it. The first thing we do is we prep our chicken. I see a lot of the pros do this. I don't always do this, but it's something I thought I'd give a go. Like I say, a couple of pros do it online. I'll just follow their advice. We're going to take off the fat, we're going to take off that excess bit of skin that's hanging off the edge of the chicken thigh. Try and get rid of that tendon. There is a big knuckle of cartilage in there, but I left that in mine in. I'm not a pro at butchering. I don't really want to get involved in that. I'm going to go through all that, every single piece, bit by bit. Give it a clean, get all the excess fat out. We don't want that fat affecting the flavour too much. Again, I'm no pro, but we're just going to speed things up a little bit. Get through this nice and easy, and we're going to give them a dusting with our all-purpose rub. If you watched the last video, you'll see that how to make that. I mean, look at how much fat was on that piece. It was absolutely massive. I'm using 6 thighs, nice simple thighs, just supermarket bought, nothing special, nothing from the butchers, anything like that. Just nice, cheap, easy to get hold of thighs. I mean, we are self-isolating in our household at the moment, so it's kind of get what you want. This was originally planned to be wings. When I did my online shop, the delivery driver brought me thighs, so I can't really complain. So once you've got your chicken all prepped, all nice and cut, you're going to give it a flip over onto the skin side down. And then we're going to take our all-purpose rub and we're going to give it a nice medium coating. Or as much as you want onto that side, because what we want is that salt and the paprika and the onion powders to really get into that bone side and really give us a nice flavour. I like to cook skin side up. I know some people like to do skin side down. Some people like to do it in foil trays. I like to go straight onto the rack, straight in there, give it a nice flavour, get the smoke really getting on the underside of that meat. Like I said, just give it a really thick coating. Try and keep a bit of a gap between each piece, so you can get so every little nook and cranny gets a good flavour. Press the bit, give it a pat down so it soaks in. But I'm going to pop it onto a plate before I put it into the refrigerator. Again, I'm going to make sure there's no overlapping, so it sweats nice and evenly, so those salts really get into every little section of the meat before I wrap it in cling film and pop it in the fridge. And I'm just going to give this one a little bit of an extra dusting, because I do like this rub. Really, really nice rub. The paprikas within there really give it a nice pop. Oh, we'll see you in a couple of hours. So this chicken's been resting in the refrigerator for about 2 hours at this point. You'll notice I have put gloves on. I have been out there doing a bit of gardening, so I just thought I'd put some gloves on just for a little bit of extra safety. We're going to get the chicken out. I'm going to flip it over skin side up this time. No particular reason. I'm going to put it in this order just because I like things to look nice on the video. But we're going to get it out on there and really give it a good liberal coating of the all-purpose rub. Really giving it a good dusting. Again, I'm going to speed things up in a second because the last thing you guys want to watch is a 2-minute video of me putting rub onto a chicken. So, I'll talk to you soon. So guys, just while we're watching the finish off this, if you haven't already done so, if you could like, comment, share this video with any of your friends in the barbecuing community, it would be very much appreciated. I'm always happy to accept tips and points in the right direction. Always appreciated. So I'm going to leave this chicken to rest for a couple of hours. While I'm doing that, I'm going to get on with making the barbecue sauce. This isn't my normal barbecue sauce, but at the moment, as you can understand, pickings are slim, very little in terms of amount of ketchup, etc. with lockdown. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to start off by putting some of the all-purpose rub into a pan. While it's on the heat, I like to toast those spices, really get some smokiness into them by toasting them dry within the pan. Then I'm going to come in with a little bit of cayenne pepper just to add a little bit of heat. My wife doesn't like too much heat, so I just like to put a little bit of drop in there. For the sugars, I'm not going to be using a brown sugar in this glaze. I'm going to be using Dr. Pepper. I would be putting this in now, but unfortunately Dad forgot to get my son a drink. And having small children, they come first, so quickly run to the fridge in my slippers and throw the little lad a bottle of juice. Back to the spices that are on the burner, and then we're going to come back with a small can of Dr. Pepper. The beauty of the Dr. Pepper is, one, it's got a lot of flavour in there from the natural flavourings within the can, but it's also got the sugar content that's really going to help form a nice crispy crust upon your chicken. Really nice flavour. I use all sorts of different juices, Coke, Fanta, lots of things like that. To get the tomato flavour in there, we're going to use a little bit of tomato puree. I would normally either use a ketchup or a store-bought barbecue sauce if I don't have time to make my own barbecue sauce, but unfortunately not available. A little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I'm English and even I can't say it, so I struggle to think how you guys in America get on. But a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. And then vinegar I'm using today, I'm using a rice wine vinegar. I would normally use apple cider or red wine or white wine vinegar, but I thought I'd give rice wine vinegar a go in this sauce, and it turned out really, really well. It gave it something different. It gave it a nice Asian feel. And then we're going to obviously go in there, really stir that up, get everything up to the boil so everything starts just to get to know each other. You don't need to cook the hell out of this. Just get it going until it forms a nice colour. Or to your taste. Again, I think it's T-Roy Cooks on YouTube who said, barbecuing is not rocket science, and there's a lot of wiggle room in there. It's all relative. It's what you like to eat, and I'm a firm believer in that. I wanted to put a little bit more tomato sauce in there, so I've put a little squirt of puree in there. And we'll just stir that away until it forms a lovely orangey colour. Just like that, nice and orange. Really stir that in there, make sure all those sugars are starting to mix with the herbs and spices. It's really runny, nice vinaigrette sauce rather than a thick tomato-based sauce. Absolutely lovely. Right, so now we're outside, we've come out to the smoker again. I like to use a chimney starter to really get the fire, to get the coals burning, to get my charcoal going glowing hot. I'm using the minion method. If you're coming to this video, I hope you've watched other videos before and you've already learned about the minion method. But if you haven't, bear with me, I'll try my best to explain it. Basically with the minion method, you take your hot coals, you get a well in the middle, and then those hot coals are going to slide bit one by one all the coals around them to give you a nice hot long burning fire in theory, but bear with me guys, we'll get to that. Wood wise, I'm going to be using hickory chips. I would like to use a lump wood, big lumps of wood, apple, hickory, peach, but unfortunately pickings are slim. And as you can see now, these fires have been going for about half an hour. They are glowing hot, they are almost ready to go, but me being slightly impatient, I wanted to get those in there to get this chicken cooking nice and quickly. So in they go, nice and hot into the middle. Those coals are now going to start light the coals around them. I'm going to put the water tray in there, forgetting to put my hickory chips in, but I've got a door at the front, so that's no big deal. And I'm going to just drop a bit of water into the water pan. Again, I don't normally use water within my water tray, but today I wanted to just experiment a little bit and see how things went. The smoker I'm using, it's a nice, easy, cheap smoker. I think it only cost me £40 and I've had it about a year. It's a little bit bent, it's a little bit dusty. It did get blown around in a storm. But we'll get to that. I've got the vents fully wide open and I'm shooting for a temperature of around about 300 Fahrenheit. So you catch us now, we've got the chicken on there, nice and easily, nice and spaced. Before we move on, and we're going to close the lid up, and now you can see that smoke. That's the perfect smoke that you want. Nice and light, nice and wispy, a little bit of a blue colour. Now, I'm going to pause here and wait. We did have a bit of a disaster. Basically, what happened was, my fire went out, and I've got no replacement charcoal. So what we had to do, we had to improvise. So basically I had to bring in the air fryer in to go. Inside, I set the temperature and put the chicken in there to go. I would have liked to keep it on the smoker, but unfortunately my fire went out. These things happen. I'm not a professional. I've only been doing this. It's probably only my 5th cook tops. So there you go. So I set the temperature 150°C for around about an hour just to make sure that things got cooked, but I was checking it every 10 minutes and basting it as I go. So this is after about 10 minutes. I got the chicken out, put some of the baste over, some of the glaze on there, using my silicone brush, really giving every piece a good covering. Again, my camera work's not the best. This is only my 2nd video, so I do apologise. Hopefully things will get better. Certainly hope so. But there we go. So give every piece a nice good covering, because you want that flavour in there. You want everything to caramelise. You want all the little bits and nooks and crannies to get a good lick of this sauce, or whatever sauce you choose to put in there, your store-bought, anything. Make sure you give every piece of meat as much as you can get to a good covering, but try not to move the meat too much. You don't want to disturb it. Then we keep checking the meat again. This is after about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It's going to get a nice colour to it. And again, after about half an hour, it's almost cooked at this stage. It's got a lovely golden colour to it.
Cooking away nicely.
And get in there with your camera, try and take a nice shot, make sure you get in there, completely forgetting that steam will fog up your camera. So this has been in for about 40 minutes, everything's cooked. I did transfer it into the oven once I got the oven cleaned out and ready to go. I put the rest of the sauce in there just to give it so it could soak up some of those juices, and it would come out with 6 gorgeous looking pieces of chicken for me and the wife and the 2 kids. So colour-wise, I'm really happy with how they turned out. Flavour-wise, I'm really, really pleased with the way they turned out. First inspection on texture, I was a little bit concerned. I thought the skin felt a bit rubbery, but again, that's probably to do with the way it was cooked. Verdict from the kids. Kids loved it, which is an absolute dream. It's so difficult to cook for 2 kids. And the wife, even more difficult to cook for. Loved the flavour, but the skin was a bit rubbery. Again, I think that was more to do with the fact that I did it in the air fryer. And the smoker wasn't really playing ball today, but it was only my 5th cook. Let's see how things go in future. I'll keep working at it. Again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be doing more as time goes on. Like, comment, share. Give me as much feedback as you possibly can. And I'll see you again soon, guys. Enjoy cooking. Stay safe.